So it's inside joke, ladies and gentlemen. Um, don't trust anything that comes out of Christina's mouth tonight. Welcome. We did not have a stand up last week. I forget why. Oh, I know why. We had our booster shots last week, and Chris and I
You
were not feeling like,
boosters
and you didn't get home till
and
late.
I was exhausted from flying solo too. Yeah.
Yeah, from watching the kids and everything. So we did not do a stand up last week, but we're back this week. I'm Tim Anderson, joined by Christina Barrios and Joey Anderson. We are the Wandering Hermits, creating the Weave
Yeah.
in the Void, which is the world behind me on the map. It is a 5th edition tabletop setting and campaign modules, as well as a point and click adventure game and a series of books, all of which are being produced and published through our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/. Wandering Hermits, and this is our weekly stand up where we talk about the work that we did in the week previous and what we're going to be working on in the week coming up, sort of plans, everything else. Well, obviously, we do 3 times a week. We do updates on Patreon, but this is sort of the see our faces update as opposed to just reading about it in posts. Um, we are, let's see, I'll go first, which I usually do. This week, I have been doing more work on just getting the module finished. That's my goal for February is I got to get the Escape from Parthana module finished. So yesterday, as an example, I was going in and when we finished the playtesting from last August and September, I had everybody send me the descriptions for their characters. And I was going to use those descriptions when I was creating the NPCs to put into the module to use as quest givers. So that's what I was working on yesterday was going through the old emails from back in I think it was late September, early October, and getting all the information from the people and starting to put together what quests these individuals are going to be giving to the players and how that's all going to work out. And then I made the NPC list yesterday, so I put that together, the important NPCs of Parthana in section 2, and then from there I'm actually now going and I'm making their quests. And so I'm putting, Isildur the dwarf is going to be over here, and Ragalorm the paladin with his half brother Haldren are going to be over here, and we've got Duende the high elf is going to be over here, and then why am I blanking on? We've got Lance the
Lance.
cleric who's over there, and then we've got it's Liam's character who's the dwarf who speaks with a human accent. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Oh,
Um, I just wrote it
yeah.
down in
What
the
was
book
his name?
yesterday. I can't remember, but in any case, I that's what yesterday was. And now what I'm doing is today I was thinking about where am I putting those characters because it has to make sense. Like Lance will obviously be off in the Church of the Elder Ways. Players will only ever find him if they have people in their party who need to go over to the church for something. If they go to the Vestige Temple, they'll find Lance. Lance will offer a side quest, but only to people who are part of the Church of the Elder Ways. I've got because Ian actually wrote me a really complicated backstory for Haldren, and then Tristan sent me a similar story which complements what Ian had written for Ragalorm. So I've got a pretty cool story about their past, and I don't want to give too much away, but one of the things they had said was that their mother was murdered, and there's this thing. So I'm going to create this quest where they've found the person responsible for the murder, and they need help taking care of that. So they're going to be off in another part of the city. That's a side quest. Lance has a side quest. I don't know where I'm sticking your character Isildur yet, but he'll be off somewhere, probably in the Dwarven district. Um, who else am I missing? Oh, and then I've got. I'm gonna put. Pretty sure I'm gonna put Liam's character in the Muddy Maid Tavern. So like right when they get to the tavern, there's a dwarf in the tavern who's offering a quest because he said something and he sent me a detailed message about it. He was like that one session he couldn't be there because he was sick. Well, his role play reason was he had an ex-girlfriend in the city that needed help with something. So guess what? We're gonna have him offering. He's gonna have this quest that says, "Hey, my ex-girlfriend needs help with this. Can you help me with this? It's something that I can't do by myself." So I've got a pretty good idea using the backstories that these people sent to me. I'm able to use that as information to create the quests that they're going to be using or that the players are going to be finding in the module. So that's what I'm working on right now. Hopefully I'll have that wrapped up at the end of this week because I got to write chapter 13 before next Thursday, so I'll be working on that either this weekend or early next week. And then just that's my work for February. Um, I didn't do any tabletop painting yesterday just because I was like, you know what, I need to be working on the module is more important than the painting right now. The painting is for our Etsy store, and I'm just kind of like, I think we're just gonna wait till after we move to worry about the Etsy store because I don't want to have to deal with trying to ship things. I may still get the store up before then, but I don't know that there's any reason to because if somebody orders something and I'm in the middle of moving, I can't ship it, and I don't, there's no way for me to update people on that. So I'm probably just going to wait on launching the Etsy store until after we move. Um, so anyway, that's what I've been working on. So it'll be this week finishing up that, working on the module, doing chapter 13 for next week. Um, I already got, obviously Nathan's been out because of family stuff, so I haven't been worried about that. But just from an update standpoint, I got him everything he needs a couple weeks ago before his family stuff happened. So when he gets back and after that's all done, I assume we'll be getting to work on that. But that'll be me overseeing the artwork and getting that back from him and confirming things and asking for changes to the pieces and so on and so forth. So that's where I'm at right now with tabletop stuff. Anyway, that's all I have. Who wants to go next?
Okay. For me,
Yep.
okay. I am working on vertical images
Hmm.
now because before I was working on horizontal image. So maybe this image that I am working on we can use for the cover of the book, maybe, or something.
Yeah, I think the idea is that
I
you'll
don't know.
do 6 or 8 vertical images over the next month or two, and then some of those will go into the book, well, into both books, into the module or the source book, and I'll pick a couple of those to use as, at least for now, they'll serve as like pre-order cover images. And we may end up getting different art for the covers later on down the pipeline, but it'll be nice to have something because we only have one vertical image right now, and that's that ice
Yeah,
tower
we
that you
have
did.
one. Yeah,
So everything else you've
Mm,
done has been horizontal. So getting
yeah,
more vertical images gives us more stuff for the interior as also stuff that we could potentially use for covers.
yeah,
And I think I didn't mention this because we didn't do a stand up last week. I put up a couple of vertical mock ups using that ice tower image. I put those in the Patreon as well as in the patron
mhm.
section of Discord. I mean, it's just layout mock-ups at this point, but yep. So that's what you've been working on, and then Joey.
yeah.
Yeah, so mine's been my development load has been light this week just because of getting caught up while Faith was gone. She got back Thursday. So yeah, but tomorrow looks like it's gonna be a good day to spend some time in the office. So hopefully I would like to wrap up the rest of the buildings by the end of the month, which all I have left is um the Hermit Hut and really I just have to do layout for the two farms because I already have those buildings basically built.
So here's a quick
Um,
question because
uh,
I was just thinking, when you say
and I
you're going to
was
complete all that, that's not camera placement and everything else. That's just all the buildings done.
right,
Because I was thinking
and
before I
then I'll
move.
fall
Go
and then
ahead.
I'll fall back. I'll fall back then and work on. Okay, now I'm placing. I've got the buildings built. Now I'm tweaking where they're placed and everything like that, which I already have most of that done on the buildings that have been complete. But when you add a camera, I might have to tweak things a little bit. There also is I want to try to build a where the bridge crosses the creek,
At
the
stream,
river.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on a like a water mill type building there. I drew inspiration from we were actually in the since we're playing Locha right now. When you cross the creek, there's one of those water mill in the Shire homesteads
Hmm.
buildings right on the creek, and I looked at that and I was like, oh, something like that would be cool. So I took a bunch of screenshots of that, and
Yeah, and
obviously
that's an easy thing to add, so to speak. Um,
hmm
I was also thinking, before I do my move. So if you're going to be wrapping that up at the end of the month, we should probably you and I should probably plan another Saturday morning stream session for like early
Sure.
March to just show everybody what you've been working on since because the last stream we did was about it's more than a month ago. I feel like it was like 2 months ago. Um,
It's been crazy. Spring or well, fall, winter,
winter.
winter.
Um, but anyway, that would be a good thing to shoot for. Would be an early March stream before I have to move. Um, and then we could do like a stream on a Saturday morning like we did that one time before and go over everything because once you're done with that, Marin's Rest is done in terms of buildings, and then we're just going
That's
scene
the
to scene.
as I say, and that's the time-consuming part is the buildings.
Yeah, because doing this the forest zones is easy because there's no buildings in that. It's just there might be a couple of unique things that we need
And
to add,
maybe some ruins here and there, or something like
which
that
we
be
have,
added.
so it'll be quick and easy to add all those. And then we have the beach with the island in the distance. And so, I mean, that'll take no time at all. And then when you get over to the island, it'll be time consuming again because you have to do all the dungeon interiors, which we have to kind of think ahead about that too because we don't want to do too many interiors. We probably want to keep that down to less than six, probably, just for time constraints. Um, because Marin's
Especially in our
Rest is going to
go.
have what, like 10, I forget, like 10 or 12
Yeah,
um,
something like that.
scenes. So if we're keeping that, having the dungeon be 3 to 6 scenes, that should be more than sufficient. I'm also
We'd
thinking,
have to go back. We've got a video where we talked about how many we thought it should be, because like
hmm
I think it was literally like the island was one
yep,
scene, then maybe going up to the entrance is a scene or two, and then inside was like, because I think we were thinking like another 10 to 12 of the island and the interior, something like that. I literally think to make it roughly the same, because really that's the last part of the game.
it's the last third, so
So
we need to have it be of an
yeah,
equivalent size to Marin's
right,
Rest.
right.
So we'll just have
So
to play it one out, yeah, because I played the Dig recently for my point and click classic series, and because you're on a different planet, they very much send you off like there's a central hub, but then you go off into different areas, and each area is a
right.
few scenes, like 3 to 6 scenes. It's different for every scene, but I feel like it's never more than like 4 or 6 in any given scene. So if we've got um, or in every given area, excuse me. So if we're dealing with the island, I think I like the idea of, you get there, there's the outer ruins, then there's leading up to the cave entrance, then you get into the cave, and then there's, say, at most, I would think half a dozen interior before we get to the dragon corpse and the sword, and then that's the end of the game. So um, yeah, we're getting there. Having Marin's Rest done means that then we get into March. I would say I have no idea if this is the timeline or not, but March, April, and May will be adding all the description texts, quest lines, narrative, and getting all the kinks worked out of that. And then we'll probably drop the second. Maybe we don't drop that at all. Maybe we don't, but we will need Q&A testers, so we'll go to our patron community for the testing at that point. Say July, March, April, May, June. Yeah, like
Be
July,
cool.
June, or July.
Like if we could do like the 4th of July weekend and stuff, that would be something cool to shoot for.
It'd be really cool to do like a live stream too of that where I just get in and I go through that as a live stream
Yeah,
and
because
show people.
that'll be like a couple hour, well, at least a couple hour
I would
chunk at
think
that
by
point.
that point if we then have the beginning plus that gives us a good, like, if you're really sinking your teeth into all the Easter eggs and everything else, there's probably 3 to 4 hours of gameplay at that point.
I would
Um,
think.
and even if you just do the streamlined, even if you just do the straight storyline, it's probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. Based on what I'm thinking in my mind, you and I have talked about storyline purposes because Marin's Rest is a pretty good place. If we've got 10 scenes, we're doing a lot of back and forth. Um, anyway, we're going long. We're 15 minutes in on this. We probably need to wrap this up. Um, so yeah, that's what we're all working on this week and next week, everybody. If you want to know more, you can obviously go over to the Patreon page, patreon.com/wandering hermits. Get in for $3 a month. You get access to the book chapters. You can pre-order the tabletop books, which are going to be out May or June, and then the video game, the point-and-click game, will probably. I think we have it scheduled for Q4, the end of the year. Could be out sooner than that, but to be safe, we're shooting for Q4. And if you want to pre-order any of those things, you can. If you pre-order the point and click game, you get access to the alpha and beta tests. So if you want to be a tester on the game, that's a great way to get into that. Otherwise, you can download the free demo today for the stuff that we already built as of October of last year. And you can check that out. You can also head over to our YouTube channel and check out all the links there. We've got some other videos. Joey and I did a stream. I did a solo playthrough with Easter eggs, so on and so forth. And if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, check out the playlists below for all the other stuff we got going on here at YouTube. And thanks so much for your support, everybody. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, bye
See
bye.
you. Bye. Thank you.